Um, and then one day I was on lunch break and I get a call from this phone number and it looked familiar, but it wasn't saved. And I'm like, should I even answer it? Nah, I'm not gonna answer it. He called again later that day. And so he was like, well, I want to give you an opportunity. So he asked me, the first thing he asked me was, how did you plan on buying it? You know, was it going to be cash? Do you plan on going to your bank to get some money or owner financing? As soon as he said owner financing, ding, yes. It was like just the best feeling when I turned on the lights and I saw the tunnel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really did it.
I've been very excited to talk to you because when you DM'd me the other day on Instagram and you sent me those videos, or I think you commented on one of my posts
I
and
did.
said you bought a car wash,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, that's awesome. That always excites me when I see someone comment that or tell
Yeah.
me. And then you started telling me your story of not only that you bought one, but all the stuff you had to overcome in the meantime. And I was like, this
Yes.
man's story out there for sure.
It was a journey for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad that I'm here where I am now. And I always think like, what if I would have given up? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad I didn't.
Exactly. I think that too sometimes as well because that's the easy way out. It's
Yeah.
just the easy way out.
And to be honest, it took me like a year because I came across your TikTok like around this time last year. Because I was always in real estate, like my dad. He helped me like about a couple of years ago with a rental property that didn't go well because it was like family involved, and then they had un- unrealistic expectation along with uncommunicated expectations, which is the worst thing to have in anything, right? And so we had to basically like buy ourselves out just to get out the headache. And then I was always trying to find an opportunity to like, how can I get back into like just real estate in general? And
Yeah.
then if you know algorithm, once you search one main subject, then you have like a bunch of like, okay, this is big, whole bunch of things coming up. So your page caught my attention. And so I was like, yo, she is mad cool. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let me follow. So I followed and I saw your journey and everything.
That's
So
from.
I was, I'll get a little bit of my background. So for everybody who's going to be watching this, my name is Jahleel. I was born in the Virgin Islands. And then I moved to Brooklyn when I was the age of 12, basically, with my dad. And then once we moved there, I graduated high school in class of 2011, went to Tennessee State, was down there for about 5 years, left college in 2016, came back home, and then I lived in Brooklyn for a little bit, and then I moved to the upstate region of New York. So there's New York City, and then there's upstate New York. So I'm in the upstate region now, which is considered central New York, and that's where the opportunity came. But I moved up here because the cost of living is a lot different. You get more for your money and everything. So, and I'm at the point of my life where I'm looking for certain things, and the city couldn't offer it at that time. So, yes, I am in basically central New York, and my car wash is located in Albany.
Albany. Okay, that's the
Yes,
capital, right?
yes, the capital
Okay.
region. Yep.
Got you. Got you. And
Yep.
how old are you?
31.
So I want you like specifically with your testimony here. I literally like I want to do less talking than I do in normal ones because I want to just be all ears and I want to hear your story like from
Okay.
start to finish because specifically your story too because one of the most frustrating things for me as like a coach and a mentor
Mhm.
is I preach all day every day. You got to keep going. Like you can't just
Yes.
give up at one little setback,
Yes.
one little lead falls through or even five, you know what I mean? Like you just have to keep going. That's the resilience is all that there is and that's how you be successful. So, it's very frustrating when people not only are not taking responsibility for their actions and it's everyone else's fault but theirs. Um,
Worse.
but also, just giving up at that first sign of struggle. And, my story is one of resilience, and now yours
Hmm.
is as well. So
Yep.
they may see me do it all day long, but to see you do it and to see it done multiple times where you just persist, 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 I think that helps a lot of people, also persist in their journey as well. So that's why your story is probably one of the most important ones. And I'm not just saying that. It's because
Hmm.
of just in those 2.5 Instagram videos you sent me, 2.5 minute Instagram videos. I was like, this guy got hit with obstacle after obstacle after obstacle,
Keep going.
still kept going. And so that's why I want you to just literally have the floor and tell us your whole story, start to finish. Don't even feel like you're taking up too much time. We want to hear it.
All right. So yes. So I'm glad you gave me the floor. I appreciate that. So back to when I found your page around this time of the year. Um, so I went to a couple of your introductory classes, and then every class is different, which I did caught on. Where like some class you went over some things, and then the other class you went into more detail on maybe one
Because
or
I'm
two
live.
more things.
Yeah,
Yes. So
I do
like
it different
yes.
every
So
time.
so I'm like, oh wait, so it's not okay. So now every time I signed up for your newsletter also. So every time you sent the email out and you had a class, I would just sign up like, yeah, whatever. And I would be at work and I would like, hey, she don't have a 2 o'clock. So I would switch my lunch break to when you had your class. So I would
Love it.
tell one of my coworkers like, yo, I gotta do something at, like 12:30. Can we switch lunch break? And then we would switch. So that was beneficial for me. So every time I went to your class, I would like note different things that I didn't catch previously, or if it's something new, then I would definitely write it. But to be honest, I didn't put anything into physical motion or like, yeah, let me try it. Not until I went back home in July or July, August last year, summer. I went
Okay.
back home and I had a conversation with my grandmother, and she's in her mid 70s. And the conversation we had, basically, she still works and she cleans Airbnbs. So I felt the way, right? And then more and more we got into the story, and then she was telling me certain things about, some of her kids doesn't want to help or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be the one to help you. Don't worry. So that motivated me. I was back home in St. Croix on vacation, but at the same time, I was literally on my iPad and doing research. And so what I did was I'm gonna put out there. So I went on dealmachine.com, and I think you told me that information. Went on dealmachine.com and I just put in a whole bunch of car washes within a 3 mile radius, or 3 hour radius, sorry, not 3 mile, 3 hour radius, as you suggested, something you can drive through comfortably if you need to. And so I came up with like a whole bunch of car washes. And the location that I am in New York, 3 hours can bring you to to like Canada almost.
Oh,
Three
yeah.
hours can bring you, yeah, 3 hours can bring you to Pennsylvania. 3 hours can bring you to New York City. And then 3 hours west would still bring you to like Buffalo region. And then like 6 hours you're in Toronto, and like 7 hours you're in Ohio. So it's a comfortable area or region. And so based on that area, it was about 127 car washes that fit the criteria that I was looking for. And I didn't limit my reach to like self-serve express, full service. It was just car washes in general because I needed to get my skin in the game. Um, so while on vacation, what I did was I had a notebook, which I always travel with a notebook because I read on vacation sometimes on a plane and stuff like that. So I had a blank notebook, composition notebook. It was blank, empty. So I just wrote down I had the demo, so I knew it expired in 7 days and I was on vacation for longer than that. So I wrote down all 120, and I probably have the notebook here in my hand. I think I do, but all 120 properties, owner names, owner addresses, owner emails, and phone numbers. I didn't do it all in one day. I was on vacation, so I'm not gonna front like I sat there for 8 hours. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
What I did was, yes, I woke up one morning, I did my research. It took me a couple hours. And then I went on vacation, enjoyed my time. I got home, ate dinner, 7, 8 o'clock. I have free downtime. I'm doing the same thing. I'm back on it. Now I'm probably wrote down 30 owner names, 30 emails within 3 hours. Yes, my hand hurt. Yes, it did hurt.
I bet.
It wasn't easy. And then so eventually what I started to do was just like, you know what? I'll make it a little bit easier. And I just started screenshotting
Oh, yeah,
everything.
okay.
So eventually I ran out of space with the videos that I was taking on vacation and stuff. So I came back home at the end of August. Basically, Labor Day was when I came back to Central New York. So when I came back was when I said, you know what, let me put everything into motion. So it was still warm.
So real quick,
Yeah.
let me back you up real quick. So up until this point, had you purchased anything of mine at all? You still just doing?
No. So, all right. So I didn't buy anything, no courses, nothing. All I did was I probably went to seven or eight, maybe, yes, I'll say seven. Seven of your like just introductory classes where you give information just to get people started. Like, listen, you can do this. Anybody can do this. Like just telling your story and everything. So I've been to like maybe seven of those. I didn't buy anything because I'm gonna be honest. At the time, I didn't have the funds to specifically just buy the course,
Sure.
and so my mentality was, okay, well, I'm not gonna let that stop me from getting to where I want to get to.
Gotcha.
I know there is some. So when I finally came back during Labor Day or Labor Day weekend, was when I finally said, you know what? It was, let me put this into motion. So it was still a little bit warm. I sat outside and I remember I drink Guinness. So I bought a 6-pack of Guinness. I sat outside and I literally hand wrote 127 letters. Once again, I did not do it all in one day. But that day I wrote over 37 for sure. Just hand
Crazy.
the same thing. Like I was out there for like 6 hours and I didn't have a canopy or anything. So the sun just kept hitting me only because I'm like, yeah, I got to stay motivated because I can't get too comfortable. Because I get too comfortable, I might put my hand down, pick my phone up, relax for like 30 minutes when I could have did 4 letters in that 30 minutes. And it's all the same thing. So I could have took the shortcut of just like typing it,
Yeah.
printing it.
You were using the
But
script from the training, right?
yes, and you said the handwritten letters is more personable. People
Absolutely.
feel, and I'll get to the story as to like how I even came on this opportunity. So I sent out the letters. So okay, so I handwrote all the letters, and I didn't mail them all out at once because once again, that is costly.
No kidding. It adds up.
It is
It does.
costly, and I didn't know. So I'm at the post office, and I'm giving him letters, and he's like scanning them, and he's pricing them, and I'm like, oh, I'm at $50 already. All right, we're gonna hold off right now. I gotta wait till I get paid again. So at the first batch, I sent like maybe like 40, 50 letters in that same week, but it all wasn't in the same day. Like Monday, I probably sent 15. Tuesday, I probably sent 20. But out of the 127, I was only like 3 people called and a few texts, but didn't get no replies. And in my head, I'm like, there's no way that I sent out these letters and nobody replied. So what I did was I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to send out a random text, because I get random texts from spam anyway. So like,
Don't we
at least I
all?
know, I'm not a spam, right? I'm like legit. So let me see if I could find a message that I was sending out
Yeah.
real quick. And it was very general. And I just copied and paste, copied and paste, copied and paste, copied and paste. Let's see. So
So you were just manually sending them. You didn't use like a software or anything to like send out a big batch of text messages.
nope.
All by
I
him. All by him.
manually, yep. So let me see. So my basic letter, it said, hey, hey, owner's name. I'm looking for a car wash to buy or lease in the area. If you're interested in selling, can we schedule a future time to call? Thank you. Best regards, Jahleel. That's it.
Beautiful.
Straight up. Like,
That's very similar. Yeah.
that is it.
Text
that is
that
it.
to me. Text
And
that to
look,
me.
I did get a reply too.
That's
You
awesome.
know, but so that is the simplest, as
That's
simply as you
just
can put it.
fine. The driving force
And
of script.
yes, so basically they would like listen, if they want it, they'll reply if they're interested. If not, they'll ignore it. And I deleted them now, but I did have, you could just see like it was a batch of just the same messages that didn't get no replies. And some were landlines, and it did reply back as like, this is a landline, can be texted, which I understood. Um,
Right.
but everybody who did reply, I did set up, call back or text back. Majority of them were they wanted straight cash deal. Some of them was like, very well priced based on everything. The numbers were good. Some was like, yeah, I'll send you my financial sheet. Some was like, I need proof of funds for you to even see my financial sheet.
Some of them want 50% when the bank's only going to require
You
you
gotta
to
want
put 20 to 30%
20.
down. So why
Exactly.
would I give you more when I can go get a loan from a bank?
Exactly.
So yeah, they're
Yep.
delusional sometimes.
So yeah, so why even waste your time? And a lot of time they're just trying to weave out if you're, a BSer, or like, are you serious? Are you a real person who's trying to buy my business? And I get it, I respect it. But I did get a few callbacks, few replies and everything. And my opportunity came when I was on my lunch break. Oh, actually, let's rewind back. So the one of the first batches of letter I sent out, he called me off of it. So he called me off the letter and said, "Hey, I received your letter, and first of all, I just want to say you have a very well handwriting, very neat handwriting." That was he said, and yes, I do get compliments about my handwriting because it was something that was required growing up. Yeah, you had to. Yes, and so um, he was like, I appreciate, taking the time to handwrite a letter. It tells me like you were serious. And yeah, I felt very special. And it was just the fact that he saw a handwritten letter. He hadn't seen this in years, that he was like, let me give this guy a call. And he actually said it. And so during the first call, he actually had somebody he was buying, and he wanted to let me know that. He said, I had somebody who was in the process of buying already, but I wanted to let you know I received your letter. That was it. That was the call. I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks at all. Like, I didn't hear nothing. And I'm like, shoot, maybe he moved on. And I left it. I didn't follow up. It was like, okay, I left it alone. And then one day I was on lunch break, and I get a call from this phone number, and it looked familiar, but it wasn't saved. And I'm like, should I even answer it? Nah, I'm not going to answer it. Because during my lunch break, I don't want to talk to people. I talk to people all day.
Right. Yeah, you want some alone time.
Yeah. So, and I'm a loan officer too. So, yeah. So I talk to people all day. So he called again later that day, like on my way home. And I'm like, I'm just going to answer it after answer. And so, he told me, hey, we spoke a couple weeks ago. The buyer's basically pulling out. And apparently the reason why it's because they were moving from Boston, and the home they were going to buy, that they were going to close on, got pulled away, or the seller pulled away from them. So it was like they got pulled away, so they pulled away from him. And so
Were they
he's
were they buying his car wash from him the traditional way?
all cash.
All
All
cash. That just
all
goes to show
cash.
you, cash isn't
Yes.
always king. For
All
sure.
that's what he was just gonna like, hey, I want it. And it was something that he wanted to do when they're moving out to this area of New York. And so he was like, well, I want to give you an opportunity. So he asked me, the first thing he asked me was, how did you plan on buying it? Was it going to be cash? Do you plan on going to your bank to get some money, or owner financing? As soon as he said owner financing, ding, yes. He was like, yes, what? I was like, oh yeah, owner financing. So he was like, oh wow, that's so funny because that's how I started. Come to find out, he started in 2017
No way.
with the very same car wash I'm getting. Or I basically got, yeah, that I'm
Full
getting at the
circle
time.
moment. Full circle
Yes.
moment.
And so he was like, yes, I'm basically starting I started this about 8 years ago. Well, at the time, 7 years ago. And so I definitely know where you're coming from and how you're starting. So let's work something out. So um, he finally he said, "Can we set something up for a meeting?" He said, "I don't. Like, we're not going to talk paperwork right now." He said, "I want you to come and look at the car wash." He was like, he shut it down in August because he little background about him. He also owned a laundromat. I went to his laundromat. Very nice, very nice. And he rebuilt a new car wash. So he has a brand new one, and he owns a laundromat that's just like his baby. So
What
he's
was his reason in shutting it down though? Just because he
yep.
wanted to focus more?
I'm gonna get into it. So at the time he had number one was so at the time it was a full service and he had way too many employees. He was very honest about it. He said at the time he had 9 employees. It was eating into his profits. And at the time he was trying to convert it into just fully conveyor express, which up here we call it the hybrid or hyperflex or something like that, where yes, it's still conveyor, but it's just strictly exterior. So he was trying to transition to that, and he did like a whole bunch of equipment upgrades and everything, but he couldn't run it efficiently without being there. Also, having the new car wash that was fresh construction, he had to be at every day. On top of also he having a newborn, and he coaches in the fall for Little League football.
Busy, busy guy.
So during August was when Little League and everything kicks in. So he was like, at the time, I can't be at this car wash where it needs somebody to be there every day for it to run efficiently. I can't do it. So he shut it down. And as soon as he made all these equipment upgrades, like 4 months later, he had to just shut it down. New brushes, new air pump system, like a whole bunch of just upgrades, 30,000, 35,000 in upgrades. And then he just had to shut it down. So we did a walkthrough, and then that day it was cold. It was cold. So we did a walkthrough. He showed me basically like his plan on how he was going to convert it from from conveyor to fully express in time and everything like that. And that was the rundown. So, he encouraged me. He was like, "Don't rush into anything." He's like, "Think about it." He said, "I'm going to give you the numbers based on what we did from January to August. And I'm going to give you the past 4 or 5 years before COVID. And if you need, he said, right after COVID, and if you need before COVID, I can get you those numbers as well." And so it took him like a week and a half. His wife had to get it for me because she was the one that did the numbers. And it was like this long spreadsheet, like endless. Oh my goodness. But oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But it showed all the numbers and everything. And like right before COVID, he was peaking at like gross revenue with no ads, no nothing, just straight word of mouth and foot traffic, stoplight traffic, because it's located at a stoplight too, which was beneficial. And it's on Central Avenue in Albany, which sees over 10,000 cars a day. So it's very bad. It's off the throughway.
Gotcha.
So he was like off gross. 2019 was about 682 in revenue. And yes, and so when COVID hit, he had to revamp everything. Obviously, business slowed down and everything. But in 2021, he was still doing 4.5 in revenue. Yes. And then 2022, it was about 4.25. He started hiring more people because he was there less. People wasn't taking it as serious as he was. And so it just started eating into his profits. His turnover rate was crazy. And then he said last year, when between January and August, when it actually kicked up, it was only him, his wife, and his dad running it.
Wow.
And all he said was he was at the top of the conveyor, getting the cars on, and his dad was at the end of the tunnel. And that's all it took. And within that short time alone, they did 273 within that short time. And once again, that is just them. No advertising, because he's not a social media guy. He doesn't know how to run Facebook ads. So
But
that
just
was
think
the
of what it
difference.
can do with that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Right.
You could easily
So
double that.
easy. But my main thing was like throughout this, like just getting to that spot was not once did I think about quitting. Because once I saw people replying, then I know, oh, this is possible. What? They're replying, they're interested. To the point where, some might not even some might say, yeah, I'm not gonna waste your time. And that's fine. Like, at least if they're not doing it in your face, or like you're at this close to getting to somewhere and then they're like saying no. But the main thing is like you always just don't stop. It's a numbers game. I think that's the best way to put it. Yes, don't kill yourself in one day. You can't eat a whole meal in one bite. Okay. So like break that meal up. So if you got 100 letters to send out, break it up into a week. You know, if you do 10 a day, 10, 15 a day, you'll get there. That's all it takes. You don't have to do it all in 1 hour. And I think that's where a lot of us get we say the microwave effect, where we try to put it in the microwave and then it just pop and gets it happens right away. No, a lot of times we have to take our time. And I feel like if I was rushed, I would have never got that opportunity. If I would have, all right, I need to find a car wash right away, right. I would have never got that opportunity versus like, all right, let me take my time, make sure I'm sending out these letters. All right, they didn't reply. All right, let me send out these texts. All right, they didn't reply. Send out these emails. So it's different ways you can reach out to these people. That's very beneficial. We met about 4 times before we even actually like spoke on numbers at the car wash. And then so right before Thanksgiving, he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, is it possible for us to meet after Thanksgiving? Maybe we could talk some numbers and then go from there." So November 27th, gave him a call. Actually, let's run it back a little bit. So the week before Thanksgiving, we met at Panera Bread, and we officially talked numbers. His wife was there as well. We spoke numbers, and then I told him, give me about a month. I'll figure something out. And then he was like, okay. So in theory, I was just gonna give myself like towards the new year, hey, if I don't have the number down that we have, then I'm not gonna waste your time. So initially I reached out to my family, immediate family. I'm
This
like,
is
they
for the
love
down
me.
payment, right?
Yep. So
Okay.
we agreed. Yep. So we agreed on a number. And then now I just had to come up. I said, okay, I just have to come up with a down payment. Now this was nothing binding. I didn't have to sign anything. I just told him, hey, give me a little bit of time frame, and I'll let you know what I'll have by this day. And then I gave him his word. He gave me my word. I gave him my word. He gave me his word, and we left it at that. We shook hands at the table. He paid for my tea, and then I went home. And so when I got home, on my way home, I called my dad first thing, first person. Like, hey, I have this going on. Can you help me out? This is what he's looking for. This is what I have in my bank already. Listen, if you can't do 100, whatever the percentages remaining, I'll figure out the rest. So at the time, he was in the midst of purchasing a new car, wanted to purchase a new car. The car he had didn't have trade equity that he needed. So he was trying to save up some money where he didn't have to finance too much with the rates and everything to have too much of a monthly payment. So he's like, I wish I could. If it was after the new year, I'll probably be able to. So I don't have after till New Year. I don't have that time. So what can we do now? So he's like, I can reach out to some of my friends, see what they say, but I'm not feeling that because once again, I learned from the past with the previous real estate business where, it didn't go because once again, uncommunicated expectations. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not,
You're kind of married to who you're doing business with too, so that's good
yeah.
to keep in mind for sure.
So I'm like, I'm not, no, 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 no. I said, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. So, between when I moved up here to the upstate to central New York, I worked in the car business. And one of my good friends who I sold cars with, um, I know he's always down for business. I know he's always looking for something else besides what he does, right? And he's always been like that since I met him, and that's really how we created that bond. Because he has an entrepreneur mindset. The thing with him is, sorry, Mike, is he needs somebody to like motivate him too. Like he need it in flesh. Like he needs to see it in flesh, right? Otherwise, it's like, yeah, yeah, right. So I know him, and I'm like, I got him, I got him. So I said, Mike, listen, I got this going on. This is what it looks like right now. This, if we get it, this I'll be there every day trying to get it up and running condition. This is what we'll do to it. This is what the numbers look like. This is what he's asking for a down payment. This is what our monthly payment is. This is what we can do if we do X amount of cars every day at the average of this price. So we can bypass this light monthly payment, light based on what we could do. Easy. And if we're doing his numbers, that monthly payment is not a drop in the bucket at all. And so when he saw that, he's like, okay, yes. So he does have a newborn as well. And so the percentage that he agreed that he would, he had to back down a little bit, which I respected. But he said, hey, but do you mind if we bring on, somebody else? And I'm like, come on. No, come on. It's a win-win-win. Let's get it done.
Right.
And so we brought on my boy Ez. He gonna see this too. So it's me, Mike, and Ez. We're together right now. So basically, we put our funds together. We did everything that we supposed to. Came up with a down payment. We got the key, and now we end basically on a term where we have the option for a balloon payment, and then at the end of the term, we do have the option to extend. But based on our projections and everything that we do have in play, probably it won't even take us 2 years, probably a year and a half to actually get up out of there. So
Let's go. That's awesome. Congratulations, all three of you.
Yeah. So we met again November 27th. And then we officially signed paperwork. And then 2 days later, I met him again. And you trusted me, I met him again. And I brought him the cashier's check. He was like, actually, I want to show you something. And that's when he first introduced me to his laundromat. And he was like, so this is my other thing that I wanted to show you. And then he was like, and I want to show you how to get there as well. So it's so funny. I'm like, I'm grateful that I actually took the opportunity to answer that phone call the second time.
Yeah.
Because I remember I ignored it the first time. And I'm like, I'm on my lunch break. But then he called back again. But that was the universe saying, like, Ja, answer this phone.
Pick up right now.
Yep. And so I got the keys 2 days later on the 29th. And I remember opening that door to the manager's office on the backside. And then, like, the smile on my face, like, oh, shoot, I got a car wash now. I got a car wash. So I'm looking around the office and I'm like, oh, there's a couch in here too? Oh, shoot. Okay. Surveillance. Okay.
The boss is here now.
And then like a big TV with a smart TV. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm like, I got to get used to this,
right?
Yeah. So then I walked out into the lobby and I'm like, okay, so these where the customers usually stay. Coffee machine now? Big TV, waiting area. Okay. Walking down the hall, and then I'm walking to the entrance, the car wash entrance, and it's a double entrance. So double entrance, and then it funnels into one to accommodate the traffic. And I'm like, this is perfect. So one line can never be backed up. One
That's
line
awesome.
can never
That's a
be
great
backed
design.
up. And so when I walked into that area, it was like just the best feeling when I turned on the lights and I saw the tunnel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really did it. I really did it.
Great feeling. I mean,
the great
it's
feeling.
unmatched. It's like a high. Like you just want more of it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like it was like I'm like, I really did this. And then so at the time, I'm like, I really did this. I really did this. Is this true? Is this true? All right. So I had to like think again, like I really did this. And then the partners came, and then so they're more like limited partners because I did like a lot of the stuff because obviously they have their personal work stuff going on and everything. For the people who don't know, like a lot of times you can have a general partner and you can have limited partners, you know, and general partners are the ones who like do ins and outs, day to day, most of the stuff, and then the limited partners tells you what their name is, limited. So limited stuff. And most of the time, those are the people who provide, you know, the money and stuff like that for businesses. Um, but they also help out whenever they have the time off. Um, so they do come up every now and then, help out with garbage and stuff. So it took us to actually, we're not fully open yet. We're gonna be grand reopening April 2nd. That's where like publicly it's going to be like we have been making announcements on social media and stuff like that. But when we got it, we noticed like once again he did make certain purchases and bought certain parts for replacements, but never got the time to get it done. So in the contract, because you can negotiate your contract, people. So in the contract, we worked up the fact that he would get everything fixed up and repaired before we opened. And that's why it took us that long to open up, because our equipment and technician company, NCS, have been working with us since like late December, January to get everything that we need as far as parts, such as wheels, chain links, brushes if we need them. They are our soap company. So we get every month if we need it. We get an order, and we have a net 30 account with them as well. So it's also helping our business credit, which is very important. I'm starting to see now. I'm not there yet, but we haven't been a year in operation. But once we do, then we'll be able to officially use our business credit to, you know, get what we need to when the time comes. So between December and now, we have been doing like general cleaning, deep cleaning, all that stuff, pressure washing. We did do some repainting on the interior because we're doing a whole new rebranding, whole new colors. We have our own brand, own logo, own trademarks.
That's the
Everything
fun
is
part.
us. Yes.
That's a lot of fun.
Um, so it used to be known as Golden Arrow Car Wash. Now it's known as Suds and Shine Car Wash.
I like that better. I ain't gonna
Yes.
lie.
So yes, it did take us a while to come up with that name. It's very unique. And then I think our colors that we use, which is specifically lizard green, and they said ocean blue, kind of brings out that eco slash fresh look. So you're not, instead of the traditional red and yellow, which you see that everywhere. Like that's like a Sonic, you know, that's very very generalized. So like we got away from that. Like, hey, let's stand out a little bit. So we did some repainting, pressure washing, carpet cleaning, deep carpet cleaning, carpet steaming. The lobby looks a whole lot different now. Instead of the gray, red in certain areas, now it's blue and like lizard green in certain areas, accented green. So it's not everywhere, but you see a lot of more blue, and then it's white. So it's a brand new facelift. Um, and then also we had to do, one of the brushes were seized because it sat too long. So we had to get that repaired, which took our technician about 5 hours to do. So we have a whole new motor now for our brush. So that's done. And then we have to get our so funny, we have to get our wheels replaced tomorrow. So I'll be up at the car wash tomorrow in the morning, getting the wheels replaced on the chain because they were a little bit worn out. And then I'm going to be putting my car through. And then we're going to be offering different packages for car washes. And then as far as our first month, we do plan to run 3 different promotions. The first one, it is a Suds and Shine wash giveaway, where either we plan on doing, we haven't decided yet, we plan on doing, but we have to by this weekend. We plan on doing either the winner, the grand prize winner gets one free wash every month for a year, or you get one full free detail for 1 year, and you have, when we start our monthly membership, you have your first 6 months is free. So trying to figure out, so that'll be like the first week promotion. And then the second week promotion, we plan on partnering with probably a local restaurant, um, somebody who's local who's starting out as us as well. And then we're going to offer people who buy the top of the line washes will automatically get a $10 gift card to that restaurant. And then the third week, we plan on doing what we call a happy hour wash. So during the hours of 5 and 7, anybody who's driving by, you would get 50% off the car washes during that time. So,
three great ideas. That's really good.
yeah. So we thought of these, and we thought of these to bring back the foot traffic most, because we figured we could get the online traffic good with, our social media presence, us being our age and how tech savvy we are. We know we can get a lot of stuff through the social media. Like, hey, we can send out a video, get our friends to share it, and it'll spread like wildfire. But we need that on the ground traffic again, and I think that'll be beneficial based on the conversations I've had in the past. And even like while I'm there, because you can see it's closed, but while I'm there, sometimes I'll lift the doors up, and then people will drive by and they'll pull in thinking we're open up to this day. And then I have to tell them, no, we're closed. And then we'll have conversations, and then they'll tell me, and I tell them like, hey, have you visited this car wash before? And I'll take a survey like, hey, what did you like while you was here? What did you didn't like? And then I would make note of these things. And so like a lot of this stuff, I'm like, oh, well, you don't got to worry about that no more.
Hey, that's great, a customer service.
So, yeah, I was using that as like a little survey. And so a lot of people say like they do miss the car wash being there, because I don't know if you've heard of Hoffman's and all those car washes, right? They're like
a chain up north, maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those chains. And so they're probably like a 7-mile distance between us. So I feel like a lot of people have to go out of their way to go to that car wash to come back towards me to, take care of what they have to. Because where our location is, there's like 2 shopping malls there, or shopping centers. And then there's like a strip of dealerships as well. So that's why we have that traffic. And then also the throughway, it's the exits right there. So anybody who's driving through the interstate, who's coming from different states or different cities, once they get off at that exit, you will see on the throughway, you do see our sign. So at night you can't miss it. Yes. So you can't miss it at night. So that's another thing that I feel is beneficial for us. And so I've been doing a lot of like grit and grime. Actually, one of my people's been telling me like, Ja, just do what you do. You always want to record stuff. You always record your vacations and stuff. So why don't you put your stuff, post it? And I used to record them, but I never posted them. So I have like videos from like November, December, January, that now I'm just starting to like chop up and put together and just put them on YouTube, just giving out like ideas and just telling people like, this is me. I'm doing this. I'm not saying it's going to work for you specifically, but at least you will have an idea of like how to do certain things. Because I didn't use $1,000 to get to where I'm at right now. Most of the money that I did eventually was to buy equipment and stuff like that for car wash, like paint and little stuff like that. Which obviously, once you get a car wash, you're gonna need certain things. So, yeah. So it's been a learning experience as well, as far as like running a business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always been a learning experience. And I'm learning every day. I'm getting pointers, tips from the previous owner. So he's telling me like, listen, this is what I would do from a certain time to a certain time. This is what I did from a certain time to a certain time. When it rained, I clean the drains and I clean the gutters. And because obviously business is slow during the time, so when it rains, that's when you want to be cleaning. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It makes a
Exactly.
lot of sense.
Exactly.
um, so it's been a great experience. I'm very grateful once again because I came across your TikTok page. So that's been. I don't think I would have got this idea if I didn't. So um, suns and shine, we here now.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a story. What a story. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Amazing.
yeah,
I mean,
we
you
are
had the
here.
obstacle with not having enough money
Hmm.
to invest, even in the course. So you attended the training 7 times.
Yeah,
And then, you had the obstacle of the letters. You were like, I don't even have enough money to mail out all my letters.
all at once. Yeah,
Yeah, at one time. And then
yep,
so you broke that up in chunks, and then you overcame that, made it happen. You found different avenues to use
hmm
instead of just going all in on one. And then, you did find someone who was willing to owner finance, and then they hit you with being stubborn, not, wanting that down payment, not letting that
yep,
go, and you got the down payment. So you got creative,
yes.
just resilience. Like that's just very admirable. And so I want to unpack some of this too that you just told us. Um,
Okay.
so you found someone who you said he had gotten started the same way with owner financing. So I feel like that's half the battle too. When you are out here looking for sellers, a lot of time we have to do a lot of teaching to people because
Yep.
they've never heard of it. They don't know what it entails. But once you can explain the benefits to someone and show them how it works, the skepticism kind of goes away.
Yes.
And so it was really great that you found someone who had understood it, and not only that, but also had done it. Because
Hmm.
once you can relay that to someone, owner financing, it's like a no-brainer. You can make
Yes.
money off that as an
What
investment.
are one of the things he also said was a lot of owners don't realize they save a lot on taxes.
Exactly. And that's one of the most attractive things
Yeah.
about selling on creative finance. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. So
So yeah, that's yep.
that's
Um, for sure.
really good. So if you feel comfortable, talking about some of the terms and stuff
Mhm.
that you said,
Yeah.
just, as far as you're willing to go, what were some of like the terms that you came up with? Like, what's your balloon date, stuff like that. Like, if you feel comfortable sharing purchase price and stuff like that, go for it.
Okay. I don't know if
You
they
don't
want me
have to if you don't feel
to.
comfortable.
I won't give the purchase price, but I'll give like the balloon date.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'll give like the monthly payments and stuff like that.
Sure,
Only because I don't know if they want me to, my other partners. I
sure.
don't know if yeah. So so as far as like we have the term, we created like a 5-year term pretty much. Within that 5 years, anytime during that 5 years, we can come up with a balloon payment and pay it off. So we can do a 1 year, 2 year, next whatever we want within that 5 year term. And then within that 5 year term, it would be half the purchase price if we was to buy it in full. Also, at the end of that 5 year term, we also have the option to sit down at the table and extend another 5 years, up to 5 years. So it doesn't have to be a full 5 years. We can be another 2 years if we need it. It could be another 3 years, or we can go another 5 years. If we go another 5 years, however, the monthly payments goes up about 20%. So, which is not bad, because the monthly payments is only about $10,200. So going up about 10%, 20% of that is about 12,000 change. However, if we did extend that at the end of the 10 year, which would be 10 years, we would have fully purchased the car wash in 10 years if we did, So it's basically beneficial for all of us. He'll have residual income coming in for the next 10 years if we decided to go that much. But within the 5 years, we have an option to, come up with a balloon payment. At the time, let's just say it's 2 years from now. At 10,200, that's about 125,000 a year. So two and a half would come off the purchase price at the end, if we decided to buy 2 years from now, based on what we already paid from this year up to the time we want to purchase. It'll get deducted from the purchase price. And then also, what else we negotiated? So I did say we negotiated as far as the equipment and stuff having to be ready and upgraded in order for us to even do anything.
Yeah.
So um, there's different things that you can work in with a contract. A lot of people think it's like intimidating with working terms or asking for terms. It's really not. It is terms is just becoming coming to a common ground. That's all it is. Everybody's coming to a common ground, meeting in the middle. That's all it is. If you don't like 10, they don't like one. How about eight? How about three? Oh, you don't like eight, you don't like three. Okay, how about six? How about four? You
Yeah.
don't like four, you don't like six. Okay, let's meet at five. so,
Right.
so
Better.
that's what it is. And then a lot of times, the worst that can happen is they say no. And I think a lot of people are just afraid of no. And I think I'm not a yes man. I say no a lot, so I don't mind a no. So,
Yeah, for sure.
uh,
That's part of it.
I expect no. So when I get a yes, it's even more motivating. So I think that's the difference. Expect no. Let's just say that. Just always expect no. So when you get a yes, it's like
Yeah.
versus you expecting a yes and then you get a no and now you're discouraged, you're disappointed. Um, but as far as the terms, yes, so it's a 5 year with the option to extend for another 5 years. But we can come up with a balloon payment within that first 5 years. And the monthly payments is about 10,200 every month. And if we did exactly what he was doing at the time, which is about 68 to 75 cars a day, and that's like, once again, that's no advertising, that's nothing like that. Every month, I mean, every month he would make about 35 in revenue, like 35,000, just over 35,000 in revenue. So you still have about 25,000 once your rent is paid. Utilities right now for us is about 1,800, and that was during the winter. So we had our heat, try to keep our pipes from freezing. So now that we're getting into the warm, I haven't ran my heat all month, so we're a little bit warmer up here now. It's about 40s, 50s, not enough to freeze right now, so I can not run the heat. Insurance right now, I paid the premium for the year. It's only about 2,000, 2,100 for the premium. If you divide that up every month, it's about 180 something. I just got it out the way. And then we have our net 30 with NCS, which is our soap company. And right now we're looking at, based on our order, based on what we're doing, about 196 every month in soap orders and chemicals. So it's not a lot. And that's about not 50 gallons, 25 gallons. And I can upgrade it more to like 50 gallons once we start to see more traffic coming in. And what else? What else? What else we have here? Electricity, insurance, soap. What else I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing something.
That pretty much covers all the,
Yeah, the main stuff, and then our rent
standard.
for 10,000. Yeah,
Yeah. That's great.
and
Thanks for sharing that for sure.
most definitely. And then we just have like miscellaneous stuff I had to replace in that I just paid for myself for, like, example, the dryer nozzles, which is the touchless dryers. I replaced all the nozzles on those to have our company colors. Um, what else we did? Little power wash. I bought a new power washer, something a little bit more high tech, higher power. Oh, another thing. So the car wash, I'm so glad we didn't cut it. So our car wash has, remember I told you it was a full service. So we are gonna we want to run it as an express, try to get more cars in. More my dad's calling me. I'll call him back. So try to get more cars in and more cars out. So we came up with an idea and said, hey, why don't we, since we already have a 4-car detail bay, why don't we lease the detail bay? And so that's exactly what we did. And so we leased it. We have the detail bay leased right now. And right now we have a lease, we have a income for that coming in. So that's something that we have coming in. That's about 2,000 a month coming from
Nice. That's
a
great.
detail bay.
So your car wash, kind of tell us how it's set up exactly, because I know there's different components. You said you like lease
Yep.
that.
You can either go to an express or a full service.
So you
Now,
have a choice.
yes, you have the
Okay.
choice. Yep.
Those are
So,
automatic.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, however, when you go into full service, you will go into the detail side as well. So
Okay.
you would end up on the detail side once you got your dry done. You would go to the hand wax, and then now if you want your mats cleaned and all that stuff, that's what they would do at the very end for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when you pull in, you have the option to full service or express, and then we have cold wax, and then we have hot wax as well. So cold wax is like for the winter time, where it prevents a lot of the salt from staying on your car. You know, you have to worry about that in Tennessee.
That's
Up
right.
here, yeah.
Not
So up
too
here,
much.
yeah. So up here during the winter time, we have salt after they ice the roads and salt the roads and everything, and it can rust your car. It can eat away at your car. So everybody, once it snows, once the snow stops, the first sunny day, the car wash is packed, backed up to the stoplight sometimes just to get the snow off. Sometimes they don't even want to like a full wash, full wax, because by the time they drive 2 miles down the road again, it's all dirty again with the road salt. So like they just want to make sure the main salt is off the body. Which in upstate Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, any northeast region with snow messes up your car. And then you have the option if you want to pull in, you can get a quick hand wax at the end, and it's totally optional. You can get the quick hand wax, or you can just pull out and go about your day. Or we have the separate pull off where you can go and get a full detail, and we can also accept detail by appointments as well. So we have all that set up. So we're pretty much gonna pick up and take off from where he was at.
Back to the leads real quick. Another
Yeah.
thing that I like that you did was, people will get a bunch of leads or whatever, and maybe they'll make a list kind of like you did, and they think that, let's say they make 150 phone calls or, 150 letters, and they don't get a response, their first thought is to, a lot of times, I'm just going to throw those away and go get more leads. No, but it's fortunes in the follow up. You can
Follow up.
just as much happen with that list of leads. You just got to keep following up, keep working them. If they don't respond to a letter, email them. If they don't respond to
Mm-hmm.
an email, text them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
exhaust every single lead. Don't just throw them away and try to go get new ones.
So, and you can't take it personal. That's it. I just did it until I got a no. That's all. I just do it until you get a no.
Yeah.
Nag them until you get a no. Until they complain and say, "Leave me the hell alone." Nag them. That's all I can say. Until they say, "Don't text this number, don't mail me, don't do this." Until they call the letter and say, "Oh, stop sending these letters to my house," or "Don't email me." Keep sending it. Keep sending it. Go ahead. Keep sending it. Keep sending it.
It's
You
so
just
true.
never know.
It's so true. It really is. Got to exhaust every lead.
Mm-hmm.
So what is next for you? Like, what's your goal? How much time do you want to have allot to this? Do you want to retire your grandma, that's still in her 70s working? So what's your short term and your long term goal with this?
Yes. So short term, our main thing is to recoup what we put in. So
Number
within
one
the first
priority,
year,
get that money
yes,
back, right?
the first year is to recoup what we put in. And I say 1 year is short term because we're already a quarter through the year. That's short term. We're already a quarter
Eyes
through the
back.
year.
Wow.
When you see the peak of summer hit, that's halfway. When
Yeah.
it starts to get chilly again, with 3 quarters through. So that's short term for me. So within the first year, recoup what we expended out here, what we put down, what we just expenses in total, just recoup that. Long term is, let's just say, as far as the car wash or business wise, we see this as our pedestal to get more, to grow the business. Even if we don't like franchise our company or do that, but at least we can open up another Suds and Shine, even if it's our personal one. Like, hey, let's open up another one, out in Syracuse. That's another big city. Then let's go to Rochester. That's another big city. Let's go to Buffalo. That's another big city. Now let's put one down in New York City. Now we have a Suds and Shine in every, major city of New York, and that could be our staple. So that's as far as like the car wash business itself. Um, Being that I have a network now of like people who's in that industry and business, previous owner, him owning a laundromat and stuff, we're actually gonna be looking into one of those as well as we progress into, the car wash. Probably gonna be this year. So that could be a short-term business for us. Being that we did it with the car wash, we can do it with the laundromat because now we're gonna have money coming in. So if we need a certain amount of down payment, okay, well, based on our projections, this is what we'll have by this time frame. Okay, so this is what we'll expect to do by this time frame. We'll expect to send out this amount of letters. This is the type of laundromat we're looking for. This is our price budget based on what we could put down. This is the term we're going to negotiate, and we're going to try to replicate the same thing that we did on this time the next time as far as getting a laundromat as well. Because I've been watching your videos on those. I just haven't really sat down to now let me take notes specifically on this. And I know it's probably almost the same thing, but I know it's probably just slight differences. I just haven't sat down, and I don't want to assume that. So that's not me. I just haven't sat down through like, okay, let me focus on the laundromat aspect of it. I know you can send out letters. I know you can mail out, find the owners, but now, okay, besides that, what else do I have to do as far as that? And then also we're looking into like, besides the business, okay, what can this business do outside of this business? So once again, real estate is like very big. What can we do in other than like, okay, laundromats and stuff in real estate with our business now? So, vacation homes, Airbnbs, stuff like that, stuff that can, grow our residual portfolio. Also, it's so funny way with vending machines. I was looking at vending machines like when I used to work at the Brooklyn Navy Yard in 2017. Cause and it's so funny. I used to go to a bar that had a quarter pusher, which is one of those quarter machines you put in and then just slide down and then you push a thing and it like shh. And you just hope that pile of coins. And it never man, what? When I found out, I'm like, I need one of those machines.
They make bank. It's crazy.
Yes. So I was looking into a quarter pusher, like, and actually that's one of the short-term goals that we're gonna do.
Okay.
Like actually like this year, because I spoke to a corner store owner in my town, not too far where I live. I mean, I actually just gave him a PowerPoint presentation. I was like, hey, look at this. Let me know what you think. And I go in there, and then the next, like a week later, he says, do it really make money? And he's like Middle Eastern. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, he was like, okay, I'm gonna look into it. So now when I try to hide from him because I don't have a quarter pusher machine. So like every time he see me, he was like, you say you're gonna put the quarter pusher machine in. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry. So I'm gonna do it. I just don't have the machine.
Right.
But also I know like there's like in certain states it's considered like a gambling machine.
Yeah.
And in certain states it's an arcade machine, depending on like if you have a gumball set up over it. So like if you put in a quarter, you automatically get a gumball, but also you get the opportunity to, knock the quarter off. So depending on where you are, I guess you just have to look at the laws of that or whatever. So that's another short term. And then definitely want to retire my grandmother, like in the next year or so. Like for sure, she does not need to be working. I'm sorry.
Oh, she needs to be relaxing and living.
Yes. So that's like one of the big motivation right now is to kind of stop her from working. Like I would pay. I would pay a monthly, whatever I got to do. Let me do it. So that's a big goal.
You're making it happen.
That's a big goal.
She should definitely be proud. No doubt.
She is. She doesn't know like all the ins and outs of it. But she's like, oh yeah, on a car wash? Okay. Okay.
I love
With her
it.
accent, she's like, yeah, cute lady.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what a great story. Anything else you want to add, or like any last piece of advice to anyone that's going to watch this in the future?
Um, yes, I'll give like three tips. Something that I wake up every day. And yeah, you might feel like it, but like just don't quit. Number one, do not quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. You can rest, you can take a break, you can put it to the side. Do not quit. Do not give up. Because it's that at that very moment when you like, all right, I'm done, is when that idea hit you, where that phone rings, that person pick up, that email replies. It's that very moment when you mentally like, I'm not in it. Like I said, you can take a break, you can rest, whatever you have to do, mentally, physically, take a break, take a rest, but do not quit. Whatever you do, that's number one. Number two is I would say um, just stay consistent. So whatever your plan is, don't deviate from it. Whatever your plan is, do not deviate from it. If you say I'm going to send 100 letters, send 100 letters. Don't send 99. Send 100. Don't rush it, even if it takes you a whole month to send 100 letters. But have that pride of satisfaction saying to yourself, when you look yourself in the mirror, I sent 100 letters. Right? Even if it's you did it on the 31st day of the month. Hey, I sent 100 letters. Right? Just that's the main thing. Stay consistent. Don't deviate from the plan. And the third one I would give is reach out to the people that you never think would give you that opportunity. The people that you think would say no, reach out to them. Because that's who would say
Be
yes.
open-minded, be open-minded.
That's who would say yes. And if they're not the one that's willing to say yes, they might know somebody who's willing to say yes, or who was looking for that idea and they couldn't find them. But now they came across like, oh, you mentioned that idea. I just had a conversation with such and such who was looking for this opportunity. Oh, let me get them your number. And that's all it takes. So those three is what I would definitely give for the person who'll be watching this video, watching this interview.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. That's awesome. And that's so true too. People kind of think I'm crazy whenever I say, kind of just like the guy that you bought your car wash from. You'd be surprised how many of these car wash or laundromat owners, like if they own a car wash, they may own a laundromat, or if they own a laundromat, they may own a
They
car
want
wash.
to car wash. Yeah.
Crazy, like the correlation there.
Yep.
They're very similar business models. One's washing cars and one's washing
Washing
clothes.
clothes.
So there's
Two
not
things that we will always need no matter what.
exactly right. They will always be around.
Yes.
Recessions, pandemics, AI
Yes.
is not
It
replacing them.
don't matter.
No brainer.
Because the AI would be a machine that's washing the clothes.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's a great investment. It's something
Yes.
I'm so passionate about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting in these businesses, and you're 31, I think you said, and
Yeah, 31. I'll
I'm
be 32 in
26.
August.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'll be 27 in August. So it's we're gonna definitely look back and thank our 31-year-old self and our I was 22,
Yes.
but my first 22-year-old self
Yep.
for laying this foundation not only for our futures, but like your grandmothers, our
Yes.
our kids and our kids' kids, stuff like
Yep.
that. So it's a blessing, no doubt.
For sure. And the previous owner, he was 36, going on 37 when he got it in 2017. So do the math, guys.
Yeah, exactly. You put them at
He
any
was
age.
older than me. So
Owner financing, creative finance levels the playing field.
yes.
So
As
you
long
can,
as you could create that common ground, make it a
yeah,
win-win situation. And a lot of times they might not consider the owner financing at first. But hey, if you can show them how it's beneficial for them, forget you. Don't. Yes, it's beneficial for you because you don't have to come out of pocket $100,000, $200,000. Yes, we know that, but make it beneficial for them. Like, hey, listen, you don't have to pay taxes, sales taxes on this. They might
Exactly.
not consider that, right? And then also, listen, are you like absolutely wanted to retire out of the business, or you just wanted to get away from this specific one, right? And I just want to get away from this. All right, so how about if you just still get money consistently from this, not having to worry about having to be here at all, right? And then you're still winning. You can still have your own stuff going on the side. If you have your other laundromats or car washes or other businesses, you can still take care of that. So you just got to create that common ground for them, show how it's beneficial for them. And then once again, don't be afraid of no's. if it's a no, ask why not.
Yeah, what are
If
gonna
they
think
say
you
why not, then ask why not again, and then move on.
amen to that. Wear these people out. Like be on their last nerve
You
before
have to. You have to make them block you. Like I said, if you have to make them say stop texting me, make them say stop mailing me, make them say stop. Once they say stop, and if you do it after that, then it's harassment. But if you don't get no response, no nothing, that's not technically harassment until they say stop. Then you could, okay, all right, I'll leave you alone then. But until they block you, or they say no or stop, keep it consistent. They might not be in the mood. They might not. You know what I noticed? A lot of times they don't see their messages. That's what happens. Think about it. If somebody's at work all day, right, or doing something all day, or they may have a million other text messages, and yours got funneled because 20 other people text them right after you did or sent messages, and they didn't get to see it, right? So you have that dynamic. So you can't just assume that it's a no. It may be the fact that this person only reads their messages at 8 o'clock at night when they're in bed. And then that's when they reply. And so like
never know. Don't
yeah,
assume.
and I've had people say call me after 7 because that's when I'm relaxed. So like it can be that dynamic. So it's never just a no until they say no. So
Yeah, don't
just keep
assume.
going until you get a no.
That's exactly right. Never,
Okay.
never, never assume. Well, that's great. You've been more than generous with your time. Thank you so much. I think, like, I'm fired up right now. So I'm sure that's going to fire up anybody that watches this and
Hmm.
gives them hope because your story is one like I've literally not heard anyone else. Like, you're like, hey, I didn't even have the money to get your program. Most of the testimonials I do are the people from my program. So this is definitely a special one. And I got to get your plaque
Oh,
for
really?
sure. I got to get your plaque to you. I'll get a plaque for
Oh, shoot.
everybody that, you weren't in my program necessarily, but when you took my training 7 times. So
Yeah, I had to.
you're in my program. I
I
consider that.
couldn't afford it at the time, so I did what I
Yeah,
could.
exactly. So definitely got to get you a plaque. And I host a live event every year
Hmm.
for my mentorship students who are in my inner circle. So want to invite you out to that.
Oh,
If you want to
shoot.
come out, and I would love to give your plaque in front of everybody as well.
I would love to.
I would do.
I would love to.
Yeah, so that'll be it's like gonna be like I think June 26th right now. It's gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia. So hopefully you can
Perfect.
yeah, hopefully you can come.
I'll make sure I come out for sure. I have
All
to.
right, for sure. I'll send you the details and everything. If you're
Okay.
not able to, I'll still ship it to you. But I'm gonna
I'll
make
make
sure.
sure I'm there. All right. So first of all, I want to thank my partners who joined me on this journey, Mike and Ezra. I appreciate y'all. Means a lot for believing in me. And I appreciate you taking the time out to even do this interview with me, giving me the exposure and everything, telling my story. And then everybody who's watching this video, I hope I inspire you to go out and, take the initial step to actually do it. And don't get discouraged once again. I'm going to shout out my Instagram page, my personal Instagram page. It is at Jahlewski. It is what you see right here at the bottom. Jahlewskii. I have 3 eyes on it. Our car wash page, it is Suds and Shine New York. So NY, Suds and Shine, SUDSANDSHINENY. That's our Instagram page. And then my YouTube, it is also Jahlewski. So if you search Jahlewski on YouTube, you can see I've been documenting my journey. So from me writing the letters, I'm not playing. It's you can see from day one on the YouTube, I was writing the letters, literally telling what I'm doing,
Oh,
what I'm
you
writing.
documented.
Yeah,
Oh, let's
like I
go.
said, I had the videos from last summer, me documenting handwriting the letters. I just never posted them
Ooh, I love it.
because I I I just never posted them. Then my friends are like, "Yo, just post it, just post it, just post it.
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
know." So yes, it's no BS. It is literally you can see me wiping the sweat, and I'm in my wife beater, and the sun is beating down, and I'm just handwriting the letters, and I'll take a break, and I'll tell the story of like, okay, this is how many I did. I did 14, and yeah, so it is all documented from like me doing the handwritten letters, sending them out, mailing them out, getting a response, looking at the text messages, going to meet them the first time, to second time, to then go to the bank cashier's check, doing the paperwork, getting the key, first day opening the door to like
No way.
the cleaning the pit. Yeah.
That's
Which I
awesome.
just uploaded a video today actually. And then this one it was us painting the inside. And then the next video we're gonna upload was us cleaning the pit. So we have some content. I think that's gonna be like I'm gonna turn that into like that's gonna be the content page of the car wash. Like, hey, this is us. So